Well, hello ladies, ScrapNnana here, and I am here to show you a fun card idea using our stamp of the month, which is called Created to Shine. I absolutely love these bulbs, and it's got some wonderful little sayings: be a light for all to see, created to shine, and this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Can you say that without singing it? I can't. Okay, so let me show you what we did to create our card. I'm going to show you the card I'm creating first, and then we'll build it and I'll tell you how I did it. So this is the card I made, and I thought, okay, I want to do something to get some ideas for gift cards. We've got Christmas coming up, and I really think with some Christmas style paper, you could make this into a really fun card too. But basically, this is just using one card from our card and envelopes and the envelope, okay? And then just a little bit of cardstock. So this is some of my leftovers from the Candid Moments after I made my layout. And so see this fun little tab here? You just pull on that tab and there's your gift card, okay? And what you could do is just make a little piece of paper here and just barely tack it on and put your greeting right there, and you've got a card all in one. Now let me show you what I did to create this fun little card. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take just a traditional what am I wanting to say? Card. Oh, and before I forget, the colors I'm using are our Carolina and our Sundance, and of course our black ink. So what I'm going to do is just take a traditional card from our cards and envelopes. Oh, there's some leftover paper. And I'm just going to cut right at the 4 1/4 to split that card in two. And I will tell you that when you do this, because you're cutting right on that fold line, you will have a little bit of ravel from that, just from where that seam is. So you'll just want to clean that up a little bit. So that gives me 2 halves of a card. So this half of the card is what I'm going to build on. And I will just lay down a piece of foam here. And I'm also going to lay in some scrap paper because I'm working with a fairly large stamp here. Let's see if I can, I know that's got some excess stamping on it. So basically what I'm going to do is take our black ink, and I am going to, I've got a really large block here, and I'm just going to ink up these lights that I've put on the very large block. Okay, now anytime you're working with a very large block, I tend to like to use 2 hands to press down. Now I'm doing white on white, which is not a good idea because it's really hard to see the edge of your cardstock. So I'm just going to pull in a little piece of cardstock I have laying here and lay this. Now by doing this, you see I can kind of move this up and down, and I'm wanting to take this up as high as as high as I can. Let me get it recentered here. There we go. With just a little bit of that, what am I wanting to say? The strand, you might say, showing on this light here. I want to take it up. Now normally what I do here, if I'm using a block that's this large, I'm going to press down firmly. And then as we've learned, we want to let that set for just a second to let that transfer. And there you've got your ink. Now, another really fun thing about this stamp set are these, they almost look like thumbprints. They're these fun little fill-in stamps that you can use for this. And so basically I'm going to use our Carolina ink, and I'm just going to come in and ink up the one. Actually, with Carolina ink, I stamped into the wrong one. Not that it's that big a deal, but I'm going to do the little circle shaped one, And I'm just going to pop that in the middle, and it's just going to give me just a little bit of color on that. Or you could come in with your shimmer brushes if you want to color them in solid. I like this little pop of color. And then with the tall skinny one, I'll come in with our Sundance ink and add just a touch of color. We'll leave a few of these clear. So I'll just put a little touch of color into these two here, okay? And then what I do, let me move this out of the way because I'm going to use that for tonight's presentation. What I'm going to do at that point, this is where it gets exciting. If you watched the bingo last night, I'm going to show you an example of just the stamped. So this is the card I just stamped up that you can see here. Let me make sure I get that up where you can see it. This is what I'm going to do with the other half of that card. So I'm going to cut a piece off the bottom that's 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to put our adhesive tape our two-sided tape that I was talking about last night in bingo. I'm going to run that just along the very edges because I want a clear line here, so I don't want my adhesive encroaching very much here. So I'll put my two-sided adhesive tape down each side and then of course decorate the back side. So that's what I'm going to do here is take this piece. I'm going to slide over here to my paper cutter and cut at 2.5. And then I've already pre-cut, let me see if I can find it real quick. Well, where's the envelope number, whatever, right? Maybe it's in this one. So I went ahead and cut the pieces to decorate my card. Now, ladies, all I've done, this is like, oh, I think it's let me see how much it is. Yeah, this is like 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then these are just like little 1/8 inch strips, and these are just zip strips. I absolutely love, love, love these zip strips. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is come in on this, and I'll use my adhesive, which I love this new Air Mono adhesive. It just glides beautifully. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave about 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. And let me move up a little more because I tend to work close to me, and that doesn't always center it for you ladies. I apologize. So I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch along the bottom, and then I will do the same thing along the top. And I'm using these little 1/2 inch zip strips. You could just cut a 1/2 inch strip, no problem. Just whatever you have. And then somewhere I have, oh, for the love of Pete, where did my little piece of cardstock go? I know it was here. Does this ever happen to you girls? It happens to me. Oh, here it is. It was flipped over to the other side, so I couldn't see it. Okay, so this is the one that was, I believe I said 1 1/4. Let's double check that. Yep, 1 1/4 inches. And I'm going to lay that right in between these two zip strips. And then I will use these little bitty pieces to kind of cover the seam, if that makes sense. Now, one thing I probably told you girls about before, I like to take older catalogs, and this is just one of our old Close to My Heart catalogs, and use them for what I call glue books. I actually donated several of these to my daughter-in-law's class because you know how when you're taping and stuff, like these little 1/8 inch pieces, you know, are a little smaller than my tape runner, and I can do that. So now these are ready to go, and when this gets full of tape, I just literally close the book and it'll go to my next page that has not had any glue on it, which of course I could have used that page more than I did, but I just wanted to show you how easy that is. So I'm just going to use these little 1/8 inch strips to split the difference, cover up any imperfections I may have had when I was cutting. I just like that. Plus I like the look. And I'll have to trim that up just a little bit. So now this is where I'm going to turn this over, and this is where this awesome two-sided tape comes in so handy. So basically all I'm going to do here is pull up some of my tape, And I literally want to put this right at the edge, okay? I need to do what I say. Again, I'm working white on white. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm working white on white, so sometimes that can get hard to see. And yeah, it would have been really smart. Let me get a pair of scissors real quick and cut this. Some things you can just kind of tear a little bit if you forget to bring your scissors, but this tape is not one of them. This is really strong tape. I really like it. So then I'm going to run a piece of this down the other side. Again, I'm wanting to keep that as close to the edge as I possibly can. And then all I'm going to do is just kind of go at the edge of that a little bit. It will pull that. It comes off pretty easily, that two-sided tape part, okay? And then I will come in and literally, make sure I'm up here, I'm just going to tape this to the very bottom. I want the bottom of the card to match up. And I've created that pocket. Now, one thing you could do, I didn't do this because it fit kind of tight, but you might want to. You could run a little bit of that tape along the bottom so that it's not a through and through. The other thing I did was I used our awesome new thin cuts, the tabs, and this is the one I used, and I created this tab. And all I did was folded it, because it already has its little crease, and I put adhesive down here and here. Now, I did not use this adhesive on this because I don't want a tight, heavy hold. All I wanted was something, so I just put a little adhesive that I could put on top of my gift card, okay? And that way that can pull off and you can just roll that off so that your gift card is adhesive free. Now, the other thing we could do is with the balance of this, we could cut out, and it would be 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. So let's just cut that real quickly over here. 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. What that does is that gives you a piece of cardstock that's comparable to your business card. Actually, it's a little taller, so I need to redo those dimensions. That is, oh, it's 1 7/8. Okay. There we go. So that gives you a piece of cardstock that is similar to the card size of your business card. And then I would just use a little corner rounder. Now on this, again, I would just use a touch of adhesive. And you could put happy birthday, thinking of you, created to shine, like what comes in this stamp set. And then you just slide it in. Just like that. And you can wiggle it a little one way or another. But it just makes a fun little card. You could even, we do have a set of stamps. I don't know that they're current anymore because we've had them for a while. But it had like pull, tear, and all that. And you could put pull here or something like that if you wanted to. Or just leave it like that because usually they're going to know what to do with that anyway when they see something like that. So there's just a fun little idea for if you're giving gift cards away this holiday season. And just remember, people enjoy getting little gift cards all throughout the year with notes of encouragement. So thank you so much for joining in. Again, the way you get our stamp of the month is by purchasing it outright, which is an $18.95 value, or you can, here it is, with a $50 order, you can get it for just $5, or if you're a VIP member, with a $50 order, you get it for free. Thanks so much, ladies. Have a wonderful day.